Hello, dear students. Welcome back to the session on Module 4, clutches, design of clutches and brakes. So, in that, we have completed the clutch portion, and now let us consider the problems on single block brake. So, the theoretical concept of a single block brake that we have already discussed in the previous session. So, there we have come across three different cases as applied to the single block brake to determine the actuating force. So there the tangential force Ft that passes through the fulcrum point, that is the first case. So with respect to that, by referring the data handbook figures also, we have compared the equation what we have derived by taking page number or by referring the page number 267 of the data handbook. So then the second case that we have discussed in the previous session, that was the calculation of F when the tangential force Ft that lies in between the center of drum and the fulcrum point. So based upon that case, either the tangential force that acts towards the fulcrum point or away from the fulcrum point or pivot point. And the third case that we have discussed or considered, that the line of action of tangential force that is either above the center of the drum and fulcrum or pivot point, or that is below the center of drum and fulcrum of the lever or pivot point. So again, in this third case also, we have come across the tangential force that acts towards the fulcrum point or away from the fulcrum point. Now, by considering all those three concepts, now let us solve some problems on the single block brake drum, or say single block brake or single shoe brake. So the things which are given here in this problem statement: a 400 radius brake drum. So small r, that is the radius of the brake drum, that is given as 400 and a single shoe, and the shoe is shown here. That is the single block drum or brake drum that is shown in figure, and that sustains a torque of 200 Newton meter uh, at a 500 RPM. The COF, coefficient of friction, for the brake drum and the uh, contacting shoe, that is 0.25. So here we have to calculate the normal force acting on the shoe, that is Fn, and required force F that is to be applied to for the braking purpose when the drum rotates in clockwise direction and drum rotates in counterclockwise direction. And also the dimension of C that is to be calculated or determined for the self-locking condition. Say with respect to self-locking condition, there are different things that we have come across in the previous session. Say if RHS of the equation of F that contains the negative sign in between two terms, then there is a possibility of getting the value of F as 0 or negative. So for the, by seeing the particular equation, there we can come to a conclusion that either the brake is self-locking or self-energizing or not. And here the value of C is to be determined for the to say the brake is self-locking brake, assuming all other dimensions they are to be same. And the another parameter that is to be calculated here is heat generated. So this is what the sketch that is given. So with this sketch, initially we have to represent the given information. Say given information that includes R, that is capital R is given in the sketch, so it is small r itself as per our data handbook notation. So that D, diameter of the drum, is 2R, that is 800 mm. After that, torque T is given as 200 Newton meter, so that is in terms of Newton mm, means it is to be multiplied by 10 raised to 3. And RPM of the drum, that is 500 RPM here, and the mu, coefficient of friction, is given as 0.25. And we have to determine the normal force Fn question mark, F for clockwise rotation as well as for counterclockwise rotation, C for self-locking, and as well as the value of heat generated. So by seeing the sketch here, the given parameters, say some of the given information that we have to list out here. Say here the distance between center of drum and the line of action of the actuating force, that is A, given as 650 mm, but actually it is not given. So here 350 mm, that is the distance between fulcrum point and the center of drum, that is 350 mm given. And in addition to that, the distance between F and the fulcrum pin, that is given here as 1000 mm. So with the help of this 1000 mm, we have to get the value of A here. Since A is not given, A is the distance between the fulcrum center of drum as well as the actuating force. And in addition to that, the value of C that is given here, C is the distance between the axial force, or say tangential force, uh, and the fulcrum point. So this distance is given here as 40 mm. So with this information, so we have to redraw the sketch, and we have to indicate some of the forces here. Say some of the forces means Ft as well as Fn. These are the two forces which are not shown in the question statement. So by referring the question statement, and in which direction that is to be rotating, say usually the value of Fn or the direction of Fn is shown towards the block and perpendicular to the lever itself, or perpendicular to the block itself. So this is what Fn that we have to represent. And the direction of Ft, that depends upon the direction of rotation of the drum. So now here the direction of rotation of the drum is clockwise, hence the value of Ft, or the line of action of Ft, is to be shown towards the fulcrum point. So Ft acts towards the fulcrum point here. And with respect to the counterclockwise rotation, that we can see here, the as per the direction of rotation itself, the Ft is to be indicated. So now Ft, that is acting away from the fulcrum point or pivot point. So this is only with respect to the direction of rotation. So hence it is rotating in counterclockwise. Ft acts away from the fulcrum point. And also one more thing that we have to note here, the line of action of Ft in both the cases, either clockwise rotation or anti-clockwise rotation, this lies in between the center of the drum as well as the fulcrum point. So this is another important thing that we have to see here. So the line of action of Ft that lies in between the center of drum as well as center of the fulcrum point. So this is the case in the data handbook, which is given as case figure B of page number 267 that we have to refer here. So with respect to that, figure B that we have to refer, say line of action F of Ft, that is tangential force that lies in between the center of drum and fulcrum point. So this is valid with respect to, or we can refer the sketch related to this kind of arrangement or situation, that is figure B of the data handbook, and equation 13.17b and 17c that we have to refer here. So in the beginning, as per the design concept of the single block brake, the first step is to get the value of torque T if it is not given. Since torque T is given here, so with the help of torque T, we have to calculate the tangential force Ft. So this is what the first step. So by using this equation, say T is equal to Ft into R. By using this equation, so you can get the value of Ft as T by R. Since T is given and R is also given, so you can use the value of T here and divided by R, so that you will be getting the value of Ft as 500 newtons. Suppose if torque T itself is not given, in that case torque T is to be calculated by using the power equation, that is 2 pi n T divided by 60 into 1000, or 60 into 10 raised to 6. 60 into 10 raised to 6 or 60 into 10 raised to 3 to get the value of torque. Whenever the torque value is not given, instead of that power will be given. So here this value is given directly, so this equation that is not required to use here. So once you get the value of Ft, the next step is to go for the calculation of normal force Fn. So normal force Fn, as it is asked in the question statement also, as we know that tangential force Ft is also given by this equation, that is product of Fn and coefficient of friction. So therefore Fn is equal to Ft divided by mu. Since Ft is known, that is 500 newtons, and mu is also known 0.25, so that the value of Fn is 2000 newtons. So this is what the things that we have to calculate in the beginning. So initially torque T, if it is given, well and good. If not, you have to use P equal to 2 pi and T divided by 60 into 1000, and then you have to use T equal to Ft into R. By using that, you have to get the tangential load acting on the drum because of the frictional force. And then we have to go for the calculation of normal force, which is given by Fn is equal to Ft by mu. So this equation that we have written while deriving the equations of F in the previous session. And next we have to go for the calculation of F for clockwise rotation as well as for anti-clockwise rotation. So we have to refer these two figures here. See, if the drum is rotating in clockwise direction, the line of action of Ft is towards the fulcrum point. If drum is rotating in anti-clockwise direction, then the Ft is acting away from the fulcrum point or pivot point. So we have to make use of equations 13.17b as well as 13.17c for the respective calculations of F. So since this is the equation which is available in the data handbook, equation number 13.17c and 17b. 17b for the clockwise rotation of the drum, and 13.17c page number 267 of data handbook, that is with respect to counterclockwise rotation. So now Ft that acts towards the fulcrum point or pivot point, and the drum is rotating in the clockwise direction. So with respect to this is the equation which is given. So here the value of F is to be calculated. Since Ft is known, B is known, A plus B both are known, and mu is also known here, and C is also known, B is also known. So substituting all the values, you will be getting the value of F as 680 newtons. So this is what the first parameter for clockwise rotation. Suppose if it is rotating in anti-clockwise direction, that is counterclockwise rotation, in that case Ft that acts away from the pivot point. Since the drum is, or the block or the shoe is mounted below, so therefore Ft acts away from the fulcrum point here. So for same direction of rotation, counterclockwise direction of rotation, suppose if the block is placed upside, in that case Ft that is acting towards the fulcrum point. So that we have to keep it in mind while discussing or while solving the problems of this kind. So F is known by using the equation 13.17c page number 267. Substitute all the values, get the value of F as 720 newtons. So this is the another value. So after getting this value, so the next step is to get the value of C. So these are the two things that are asked in the question statement. There is no specific design procedure like that. So design procedure means initially you have to calculate the torque. That is the main thing here. Since torque is given, so the first step is Ft calculation and then Fn calculation. So once you get these values, the next thing is to calculate the actuating force either for clockwise and anti-clockwise, or only for the specified case or specified rotation. Suppose if a direction of rotation is also not given, in that case you have to assume the clockwise rotation only. Next thing that is with respect to the calculation of C, that is for self-locking, keeping all other dimensions are same. So this is what the case that is given here. So with respect to this, the self-locking that occurs, as we have discussed in the previous session, whenever the RHS of the equation that includes the negative sign, there is the possibility of getting the value of F as negative or 0. So here with respect to clockwise rotation, we have there is a possibility of the getting negative value for F or 0 value for F. Suppose if I consider counterclockwise, so the equation that contains plus sign here, so all the values, whatever may be the value that you get, that will be a positive value itself. That is no negative value or no zero value that is possible here. Only there is a possibility when the drum is rotating in the clockwise rotation. So for self-locking, F is less than or equal to 0. So F is less than or equal to 0. That is only possible when the drum is rotating in the clockwise direction. So we have to make use of equation number 13.17b of page number 267 of the Tata handbook. So by using that equation, say F is equal to or less than or equal to 0, which is equal to Ft into B divided by A plus B into bracket 1 mu minus C by B. So this equation should be less than or equal to 0, or this equation should give the value of F as negative value or 0 value. So if I take this F into T, F into T to the RHS, so that will be again 0. So what remains here? 1 by mu minus C by B, that is less than or equal to 0, or 1 by mu less than or equal to C by B. So C is greater than or equal to B by mu. C is greater than or equal to mu by B by mu. So by using this relation, so you can get the value of C as 1200 mm. That is, if C is greater, so otherwise the value of C is less than 1200. Suppose for less the value of C less than 1200. Okay. So here the value of C that you get as 1200 mm. So 1200 mm means the value of C, if it is less than 1200 mm, there is no problem of self-locking or self-energizing the brake. So if the value reaches to 1200 mm, then the brake becomes self-locking. So this is only possible when the clockwise rotation of the drum takes place. So the next step is to calculate the heat generated. So heat generated, that is by using Hg is equal to mu into Fn into V, or Ft into V, Ft into V, or the power transmitted, or the loss of power during the application of brake. That is nothing but Hg, that is heat generated. So that you can calculate by using the equation Ft into V, or mu into Fn into V. So that the value of Hg that you get here as 10.47 kilojoules per second, or kilowatt. So initially you will be getting the value in terms of joule per second. So the velocity value is required here, that you have to calculate by using the fundamental equation of pi dn by 60 into 1000. So this is what the problem on a single block brake. So just follow the procedure and solve some more problems. So in the next session again I will take the one more problem on the block brake or single block brake. So thank you.